Welcome back to Vibe for 5 Friday. You guys already know who you're on the mic with. You got D-Love and you got my brother Stro. What's going on, brother?
Living another day, grateful to God that I'm awake. So, one of the things we have to do for ourselves is start our day with that type of appreciation. So welcome back to this Vibe.
And it always starts with God. Of course, you guys already know what's about to happen to you no matter how long it is, 5, 10, 15. You're about to get stroked up.
You already know. So ask yourself, can you handle it?
How was your week, man? We always ask you that. How was your week? We hope your week was great. But if it wasn't, it's always the next moment, the next day, the next month, whatever. If the Lord said the same, man, you always got a chance to make it right. So don't get, stuck on that. I always keep moving forward and I always keep pushing ahead.
We got to, one of the things that we have to always remind ourselves of is the never quit mentality, right? As long as you have breath in your body, you got another opportunity to achieve whatever you're trying to do.
Right.
Or at least lay the groundwork for it, right?
Right.
So, we talk about Vibe for 5 because, one of the things that we want to do for ourselves and for others is create a vibe, an atmosphere within ourselves and around us that allows us to be.
Yeah, I was thinking this week myself, we're always transparent with you. Earlier this week, man, I was feeling, I don't want to say down and low because, I was feeling good once I got out and interacted. But it was kind of hard for me to get out of bed. And one thing was on my mind, is success. And I can already see us on stage. And I can already see the lights. And I can already hear the people like cheering for us to come out. And when God put these things inside of us, he's kind of giving you a vision of the future. And sometimes impatience can get in the way. We want it to happen a little faster, and you just got to stop and you got to pause and you got to flow through life and let God do what he does. Because even when you think that you're at a pause, you think you got roadblocks and you're standing still, it's still God at work. You don't know what's going on in the background. So, I'm feeling good today on this Friday. But, man, earlier this week, I will say that, I was kind of trucking along.
You made me think of something just now, and we're going to have to address it sooner or later, for, ourselves and for people. Control, we can't relinquish control. So we say we believe in God, or we have this insurmountable amount of belief in him and faith in him that we say, no, God does it for us.
Right.
But yet at some point, our lack of patience starts to show its head. We get a little frustrated. That probably leads to depression in some cases. So we feel a little vibrational. So at that point, we are trying to still control something.
Right.
We have to learn how to do that. So one day we're going to, get on that.
Dive in.
Oh, yeah.
And that's always the answer. Yeah, it's always all the way. But one thing about it, when I have those moments, no matter what I do, like he said, we try to take control, I always end up going back to God. I always end up having to recenter myself. I always end up listening to gospel music, and I stop and I pause, and I really have to, like that song said by, I think it's Dwayne Woods, let go and let God. I always have to let go and let God and start from scratch. And sometimes I wonder, why do I always have to keep doing this? I know what I'm supposed to do. I know what happens when I do it, but yet I still do it. I guess that's being human.
Absolutely. It's the flesh. Never forget that we are fleshly, right?
Okay.
So that's a part of our makeup, biologically speaking. So they're going to be simple, certain natural behaviors that exist within us. Now, our atmosphere starts to influence our conscious. Now, I don't know how far and how deep you want to get into it.
Go ahead.
But, that's some of the things that starts to take place. For me, if I ever get to the point where that influence started to affect me, obviously, I'm seeking prayer. But
right.
I'll tell you a song I look for. It's People's, And
I heard that today.
Man, that song does something to me. You know what I mean? It gets me up, and it's basically stating at the core of its influence of this music, don't let outside influences dictate your life.
Right. And when I hear that song, I told you I heard today, I always think about you because you're the one who introduced me to it. I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
I think we shared a story with somebody one time. The first time that we had turmoil, and we sent each other gospel songs. He said, "You ain't gonna out-God me." That's one of the songs. That's one of the songs you sent because I had never heard it before. But it's a great, powerful message. If you guys want to check it out, I forgot who's the author. I think his last name is Reynolds. Jonathan.
Yeah, Jonathan Reynolds.
Jonathan Reynolds called Peoples. Shout out to him. So y'all can check that out. Our 5 is almost up. So of course we always talk about the episode of the week, and it was why do we fall prey to the need for validation?
Man.
And go ahead, you have something to say?
No, all I was going to say is I don't know how deep that issue is that I don't see how people can't realize it. It's that embedded in our society that we literally will naturally start to think for it.
We need other people's approval. That's why we feel. Yeah. And on the flip side, because I had someone bring it up, and they hit me up, it's like, validation doesn't have to be bad. What if somebody's validating your emotions? And in the episode, my brother, he actually brought that up and said there's a positive side to it too. And yeah, it's okay for someone to validate your emotions. I need my emotions validated sometimes. Sometimes I need to know it's okay for me to feel that way. I shouldn't need it, but sometimes it feel good.
Right. And I'll say this again. Don't ever forget there's always darkness and light and everything. So even even in this English language, there's always a positive and a negative. But you'll catch that on the script.
One thing we always tell you have to value yourself, man. No matter what other people think, no matter what you go through, no matter if people criticize, no matter if people have opinions, value yourself. It starts with that, and you shouldn't let other people determine your value. And speaking of that, you might hear the word value in next week's episode, so get ready. I think that's going to be a good one. I can't wait to dive in, man. I can't wait to hear Brother on the mic. You know, he always do that thing. He always go deep.
Well, it'll be the best 5 minutes of your life.
Like it just happened to you, and you guys know what time it is. You just got stroked up.